Later. Um, yeah, in fact, let's just switch it over to me. Hi, everybody. I'm Tired Grant, and I am currently living my best Gen Con life. I am part of the production team. The Kickstarter stuff is not as important, um, but I appreciate that. The smooches, the vampire smooches, are more important. So if I look tired, it's because I'm doing about 18-hour days running production for Gen Con TV, main stage, and studio. I've worked with a lot of great people, but as I mentioned earlier, this is my favorite place to be. I need to make sure that I'm pulling up the right episode. So there will be an intro video. The numbers of the episodes are very close to each other. When I switch over to this, we should have audio and all that. I'm working the best to take cake of myself. Typos are okay; they're loud. Yeah, I'm eating well at least. I eat well every convention. It's my favorite part. Let's drop a few links in chat. I want to remind you all that, we're playing Knights Black Agents, and we are playing the Dracula Dossier, and our soundtrack will be Dustin Mears. Likewise, if you haven't used it yet, we have a fresh voucher code for 20% off all Knights Black Agents products. They expire August 31st, so roughly, 30 days from now. With that said, let's fire up the intro and get on with the show. I'll be in chat, but as we mentioned earlier, this was a session we recorded earlier in the week. There will be, about halfway through, a slight glitch. There was lightning that struck my house and knocked out the internet for a good 5 minutes. Convention food, huh? I know that life. Let's fire this up. Hello, everybody. My name's Grant Ellis, and I'm here with my friend Jess. I use he, they pronouns, and we are running the Jisoo Files. We are doing episode 12 of Knights Black Agents in preparation for during Gen Con. Our streaming schedules are very tight. So we've recorded this episode in advance, and Grant's watching this and everything. You'll see me in chat. So, I promise not to offer any spoilers. But Jess, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. I will do my best to try and pop in on chat when this goes live. I'm Jess. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Jisoo, she, her tonight.
Alright, so when last we left our rogue agents, they were on the HMS Proserpina, and there was a dramatic encounter in three different ways between Daquan and two brides of Dracula and the infamous Dr. Draws, second in command of all of Edom, the organization that is seeking to control the vampires and Dracula's conspiracy. Likewise, Sharong and the Twink team, a team of five adorable sailors and a beefcake and an old salty sea captain, took control over the guards of the vessel and managed to persuade them into assisting them in defeating the vampire menaces. While that was going on, a Duke of Edom, the chief interrogator and head of all law enforcement, known as Hound, was having a one-on-one encounter with Jisoo, and they alluded to knowledge of the whereabouts of Jisoo's partner, who goes by the name Colette. And our team managed to escape the facility before self-destructing it, and currently they are deciding on next steps before they decide to go off and face Count Dracula himself. Our story begins, essentially. Jisoo has been collecting and analyzing information in the traffic analysis of pinpointing Castle Dracula and how to best position themselves to perform an assault on it, or rather an infiltration. But she has been left with the growing concern in her mind of the safety of her partner Colette. And so our story begins with Jisoo reconciling this thought in her mind, and currently the only two personnel in their hideout of sorts in London is Hopkins, the agent that leaked the dossier to them, and Hound, a former Duke of Edom who is currently performing acts of repentance trying to assist our agents in their endeavors. And so the camera fades up on Jisoo. And what is she doing? What do we find her doing?
I think this is essentially after hours. So I've spent a full day going through electronic surveillance, all the traffic analysis, and I've stepped away from the main desktop. Real quick, correct me. I'm at -3 stability right now.
Yes, that means you're currently suffering from trauma. So uh, in order to reconcile this, you need to find your solace and talk with them. Who is your solace?
My solace is Baba, a grandma-aged woman that I met at a gaming cafe in Korea
That's
playing
great.
Overwatch.
I
Yeah.
think what's been happening is you've been playing. So there's work that has to be done. When everyone else goes to bed, you've been binging Overwatch all
Oh, hell
night
yeah.
with Bubba, and it's been a hell of a time. Um, and she's been helping you work through this. What are some of the things she might have said that would help you work through this?
In between my point and clicking and justice reigns from above, and I'm
Yeah,
just
while you're sitting in queue.
venting.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, yeah, fine. Take this. 1v1 me? No. Um Baba would have definitely, she has her moments. Like, she's taken solace in online gaming where most her age don't. But she's also got a very good knack of just having that calm, elderly, I'm reading a bedtime story voice while playing video games and tanking. So I imagine she would have said the positives of this moment of like, you're alive, sweetheart. You now know where the lost love of your life is? Absolutely, you should go pursue her. Or don't you know how to take a hit? Point better.
All right. So, while that's occurring, you would recover 2 points to your stability for sure, which would bring you to uh, it would bring you to -1, correct?
Yep.
All right. So I think at -1 you're currently shocked and impacted, but you're not suffering from the full on post traumatic stress. Now I want to make sure that I get something right, so we're going to double check here and look at recovering your stability. So, in order to refresh your stability, you're going to be able to roll. There's a couple ways you can do this. So, someone could be using the shrink ability on you. It it could also be at this point you're going to roll 1d6 and that will assist you, or we decided you were going to develop an obsession.
We did.
What do we think that is?
So with Pro's character, with Daquan and with Antal, when they were there at the base, I would have definitely seen their worried looks, and they would have had the eyes of concern on me, and they were, especially Antal, making sure they're looking for the signs of instability. And so I would have let them believe that my obsession was finding Dracula's base and pinpointing exactly like a foolproof way to get through everything and destroy them. The real obsession, though, is absolutely, in the larger scheme, taking down Edom, but in the specific scheme of finding Colette.
Okay, and that's so. Looking at this, the idea of engaging in an obsession or an addiction would recover an additional 2 points, which puts you back to the positive. So I think that might even be the impetus that sort of gets this plan going. So we can kind of talk about how it goes out. So there's two individuals there that would know a bit about Edom. There'd be Hopkins, who's, a British analyst, very intelligent. She's been, tortured, traumatized, and she's wounded. And there's also Hound. So it's up to you which of the two, or if both of them, you'd want to engage with, because they would both have ideas to maybe get back at Edom.
I forget which parts of Edom would have known we had the dossier. Obviously Hopkins, but the Hound...
Hound had suspicions because you showed up at the church in England, and they got your they got your face. In fact, she specifically got your face.
It's true. Okay, cool. I think I will approach Hopkins first, but eventually, I definitely will want both of them with me. But I will make the attempt at a more professional and a friendly manner towards Hopkins, whereas with the Hound, I'd be just like, you owe me, let's go, take me there.
All right, so first let's play out the scene with Hopkins. So I'm gonna bring her up on the screen. She's beautiful, and if you need me to drop her picture in backstage, I will as well. We'll drop it in handouts. So you find Hopkins. Hopkins is she's reading a book. When you come in, she quickly hides the book and slides it deep under covers, and just says, "Hey."
Oh, a paperback. How archaic.
She's like, "What paperback?" she very clearly has a paperback book hidden under her covers.
You know, we all get our rocks off somehow. It's fine.
She slowly slides it out, and you can see an old, worn copy of the novel Twilight. And she's like, oops. Just kind of...
I'm not gonna tell anyone about this.
And she's just like, I'm in it. I'm in it for the story. You can tell she's probably read it 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's fine. Everyone needs to self-insert somewhere, and why not a hollow husk of writing? That's fine.
This is where we go through the meme of every time it says that Edward chuckled. He chuckled. Oh. He chuckled darkly.
On 2 pages.
He chuckled. He sighed, and then he chuckled.
He chuckled.
All right, I've just tagged you in handouts on our channel. Yes, so it's what I bet you. I think that's the scene. You just take it from her and you just start pointing out. He chuckled.
100%. I'm just like, if you've read it this many times, why is it not marked up?
It's fairly marked up, and it's just one of those things where, you know, the pages are yelling. She's like, well, I like to take care of my things, and she kind of bites her lip. She goes, I have another copy that is a bit more marked up. And
of course you do.
She pulls out that one from a small bag, and every time it has the lead protagonist name, every time it says Belle or Bella or whatever her name is, hey, look, y'all, don't judge me. Every time he says that, you know, kind of one of those things, she's got her own little name in there, and there's like a little photo of her like cosplaying at a comic convention, and her girlfriend is dressed like Edward. Yeah, so she, okay. Yeah.
I'll be your Jacob anytime.
She laughs. She's like, good call. Can't go wrong. Yeah, but she says it just kind of, you know, it's something she can always go back to. That's always the same. And the stories aren't anywhere near as intense and terrifying as real life. Let me bring us back.
In that way, that makes more sense. I get it.
Yeah, she's like, so what do you need? And I don't mean that like rush, but what you need something. You have that look in your eye.
Yeah. Well, I think you probably would have surmised and figured it out while you've been here that my partner Colette is not dead, and as far as I know, still not a vampire, which were literally my 2 worst thoughts the past 2 years. And knowing that, I can't stop thinking about her. I need to see her with my own 2 eyes. I need help.
And I think that Molgoth you picked up along the way said she was in Whitby. She was here in England, up north.
Yeah, I can't do it myself. If I go alone, there's too much heat. I need cover. I need to bring her along as well to get us through, but I know I could use your help.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm willing to go, but if they see me, they'll kill me. And she shows you press releases and news articles. Someone at Edam's been putting my face and my name out there. They say that I was a traitor to the state, that I took government secrets, gave them to the Russians.
See, this is what they do. So it's just over and over again. This is the repeated, like, this is what this is right to them? They can just ruin our lives so we can't walk? anywhere in peace?
They're a powerful organization. They have a lot of resources, and they're working with a vast and meticulous and driven conspiracy. These things have gotten far out of control, and I'm willing to go with you, but I worry what'll happen if I'm apprehended. Not by them, but by, she goes, those that don't understand the reality of the world the same way we do.
Right. No. I'll protect us. I'll make sure all the cameras, all the face recognition, they're all going to be scrambled. They won't see our faces. I'll reprogram it. I will keep you safe. They can't keep doing this to us.
No, but they do, and I think that's why when your friends suggested that we take them out at the source, that we do exactly that. We look for the source, and we take it out.
Yeah. I my motivations might be selfish right now, but their power is delusional. If they think they can control vampires after all this time, their power needs to be diminished.
Do you think the book's true? Like, all the way true? And she her eyes glance. There's a copy of Dracula in the room. It's not the dossier. But she did have it, and she read large portions of it. So she's like, do you think it's all true?
Well, that one or that one?
She says, I think if we go to Whitby, we should be prepared for the worst. Bad things happen there in the book. And I fear for our safety if we go there. You dropped. And we're back. Right at the 20-minute mark. We spastically went out. So, you watching at home know what we don't know. You know what we were doing before we start doing it again. Hopkins was asking Jisoo if they believed everything in the book was true. All of it. The Jedi, the Force, everything.
Okay, so that's where I cut up. Jisoo said in response, because she was looking at a standard fiction copy of Dracula. Jisoo says in response, you mean that one? Or the copy?
She says pick or choose. If one's redacted, it's still, there, either or, she sort of says.
Okay. I did some digging. I've cross-referenced a lot of things digitally, maybe, and I'm still not 100% convinced that there isn't a mathematical cipher in the book. But overall, I think the data leads to, this shit happened.
All right, she says, if you need me to go with you to Whitby, I'll go with you. And if anything happens, it's not anything worse than what would happen if I was attacked here.
I appreciate it. I will do my best to keep you safe.
All right, she's appreciative, and she says, just tell me when it's time to go. This would probably be like 2:30. It's late.
Sure. Yeah.
It's that night owl hour.
Don't we know it well, Grant? Okay, fine. I will gently slide both copies of Twilight back to her and be like, enjoy. Don't stay up too late. I'm sure you can't make too many more anecdotes in this.
It's one of those things. It's like Twilight Unredacted, where she's written herself into the story throughout it. Poor her. And as she sees you, and she starts to slide back under the covers and would pull out a little flashlight, she's like, "My name's Cassandra, by the way." But you never knew.
Cass?
Where's Hopkins? Cassie.
Cassie. Wow. Thank you. I'll remember that one.
And she just kind of sticks a thumbs up from out of the covers and goes back under. She's like totally humiliated. She's like, "They know my Twilight secret. These secret agents know my Twilight secret. What am I going to do?"
Where would Hound be in the wee hours?
All right. Hound. You can hear Hound. You hear, yes. There is swearing. There is shouting. There is.
Where are you going with this, Grant?
Let me build up to it. There's a lot of sweating going on. She is not alone. And every now and then you hear Elvis's raw voice shout. They're playing ping pong in the back room and like doing shots. Yeah, there's never
So much.
And as you would open the door, it'd be one of those things. Elvis is distracted for a split second. Hound catches the corner of the table, and the game ends. Hound is victorious. And Elvis is like, "Son of a bitch!" And just like... And then Hound's like, "Eh." And she just grabs a bottle of scotch that they have and just starts drinking while she looks at you, and then stops and then like offers you the bottle.
I'll take it casually. Okay. This is at least better than the last situation. This is fine. Y'all play often?
Elvis is like, "Well, I saw the table, and I figured no one was using it. And I got that bottle of scotch from Margot and her friend. They were so nice. I gave it as a parting gift. And then Hound here started drinking it."
Yeah, so of course you have to drink along or else good old Hound here will take it all from you, huh?
He's like, "Yeah, she does that. And I've never really been okay with it." And like it's one of these things. I'm gonna get up the trio of your pictures for the audience. But
Yes.
yeah, and she just kind of shrugs and she's like, "Well, she's like, look, it was there. I asked after he offered, and it's not bad."
Well, you're coming with me tomorrow. So don't get too hungover.
"Where are we going?" she says.
Where do you think?
"Transylvania." That's a sincere guess out of her.
Oh my god. Jisoo will not hand the bottle back to her. Try again.
She kind of walks up to you her tank top. She's wearing a little crucifix. And she says, and she's thinking really hard. You can tell she's probably been drinking a bit, and she's trying to work her mind around it. She's trying to work her mind around these conundrums you've given her. And she's like, Whitby?
Do it. Okay. Transylvania's out because my partners aren't here. Obviously. Whitby? Whitby is your next ill-schlogged brain's idea. Interesting.
Well, I figured it's the closest place to Hillingham.
Okay. Now
She
you're
takes the
talking.
bottle back from you. Drinks it.
It's fine.
Elvis slowly backs out. He's like, not my circus, not my monkeys. He's like, this is, he's like, I'll try to catch one of them on the way out. And he's like, you just hear him shout too, and this is like, I like Elvis kind of being a little dude, bro. Where he's just like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And like, and like you hear like, you hear from like a little like stereo that he has. He's oh gosh, what would he have? He'd have like a Rio MP3 player or something like that he still uses, like this classic thing, and he's like blasting the Smashing Pumpkins or something, He's just like, yeah.
Can he have a Zune?
That's what he would have had. He would have had a Zune. Rio MP3 player is like 1999 or something like that. A Zune is exactly what he has.
He would have upgraded to the Zune.
He would have stolen it at a garage sale. I always wanted one of those. And he like sneaks it, hides it, and it's like even on a table marked free, and he's still like stealing it. Such a spy. All right, so you are left with the Hound. She's like, yeah, Whitby.
All right. I obviously, can't go out there safely alone. Probably people want to look at you more than me.
So you want a babysitter, she says. Oh, not for you, for the other one. I assume you're bringing your asset with you.
I was under the impression that we both had an equal amount of heat here.
It's one of those things where she says, I'm not that drunk yet. Misinterpreting your statement. Hands the bottle back to you.
Okay. Are you trying to tell me that bringing her along would be a hindrance? I won't endanger her if she's not going to be able to help.
She's the most wanted figure in England right now. You're probably second or third place. I could get you both in, but she moves slower than you do. She doesn't quite pack a punch. She's a bit bookish. You heard her talk in her sleep, she says.
I don't watch people sleeping.
I've listened to recordings. We thought she might reveal something. Just strange fantasies, that one. And then she stops judging Hopkins for a second. Oh, Cassie.
Anyways, if you can do it, then do it. And we need to get in there. Do you realize how little sleep I've gotten since you've dared whisper the truths to me? You dare tell me Colette is alive?
She moves in a little closer to you and she goes, she's alive. And she's well. and we've taken very good care of her.
Yeah, great. You're doing the thing where you move your head because you're drunk and you emphasize the wrong parts of your words. What does that mean to me when I haven't seen her in over 2 years?
She thinks really hard. She's like, I'm gonna take you to Whitby. I'm gonna get you in. Anyone fucks with you, I kill them. And, like, she, like, draws the Glocks. They're not loaded. And she's like, and you and me, we're gonna get in. We're gonna find your girlfriend, your partner, she says, your lover. And we're gonna take her wherever you need her to go. You two can go off right into the sunset. Maybe stake Dracula. I said I'll help you out. I'm not eloquent. You're beautiful, she says, and like she kind of like, yeah, she's just starts like, it's one of those things like, I'm not eloquent, you're beautiful, and she's kind of like is slumping.
That's fine. And I like proper closer to the ping pong table. You're not wrong. But you're giving me a fantasy. I can't just expect to go in there, swoop Colette off her feet, and then safely leave? And do what with our lives?
She thinks about it, and she's like, you've got enough money in that briefcase you stole. You could live on an island. You know, she's just kind of spitballing out there. And she's like, she's going deeper into the fantasy, you can tell. She's like, no, like the two of you, you know, you could pay for some protection, make sure if anyone asks about you, that they murder them. Damn the world, live together. Fuck them all.
Yep. I'm dismissively nodding at her, and I eventually firmly put my hand on the ping pong table, and I'm like, this is not the conversation I need to have with you this late at night. I don't even know if Colette wants me anymore.
She thinks about that one long and hard, too, and she takes a long sip from the bottle. And she hands you the bottle, too. And she's like...
I grab it, but I gently put it on the table.
And she looks down at it. She kind of nods and gives a sigh, and she's like, maybe we gotta find that out together. Maybe you need to find out for you how exactly Colette feels. And maybe she's not this great asset Edom thinks they have over you. With that said, you gotta get her out of there. Because that big D, and she points at the Dracula novel, because apparently there's one in every room in the secret hideout. He's like, that big D, eventually he's gonna come looking for her. I don't know when, but I heard what he did to the club in Korea. I heard what he did to your friend's confidant. And she kind of thinks of it, and she's like, and I know what he did to my family. So, at the end of the day, if not for love, then for life. Rev Hyam, she says, and goes right into Fiddler on the Roof. Then,
all right, I'm gonna gently guide her back to her room. Like, okay.
No, she's like, well, don't you want to play a game? One round?
I don't play games that I lose.
How do you know you'll lose? I'm seeing like 5 of you.
If you want me to entertain a game, I'll entertain a game.
Alright, make an athletics check. How many points are you spending?
Let me see here. I'll spend...
They're gonna refresh at the end of this.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 on athletics.
Alright, she's going to
ping
spend...
pong.
She's going to spend 2 as well.
Okay.
And... she got a 6.
I got a 3. So.
All right. So, yeah,
All
she
right,
plays a
Dungeon
game.
Master.
Yeah, and that's what she says. She's like, "You're aware of the adversary," and then yeah, you get her back to her room. She has like a small cot. There's some like, there's probably like some ridiculous bed covering, like it's like it happens to be like. She has Dragon Ball sheets. And this is like 1980s, like, these are old sheets. This is an old hideout. I imagine, like, some of this stuff was, like, Daquan, Ontals, like, when everyone was kids, like, they've collected these things and, you know, from their parents' houses and stuff and have made little secret hideouts. It's like, oh, what do we have from Grandma's house in storage? So she just kind of curls up under and, you know, she has, like, a little stuffed monkey that she, like, curls up with. And she just kind of rocks herself to sleep. You can tell, though, that she is, like, gently weeping at the thought of going to Whitby. Just because she knows this is very intense stuff. And she fears for anyone that heads there. What do you do?
Almost feels bad. I think Jisoo's gonna plug in a nightlight. And I guess offer an extra fluffy pillow. She's really bad at these moments. She's just like, I don't know.
Like you're off.
Like as she's going to bed, I'm like, I guess be comfortable. We'll be fine.
It's one of those things where you can feel her just kind of like take your hand, and she's doing this. It's almost like it's like this kind like almost like older sister motherly best friend thing where she's like kind of massaging, you know, your palm and just kind of rubbing softly, and you know she uses your hand to kind of wipe her tears and just like falls asleep. She's still a little clingy, but you can get out anytime you want.
Okay, well, this keeps happening to me. I'm gonna silently take my hand back and walk away, feeling uncomfortable in my feelings right now.
In Hound's diary that night, she was like, and I'm uncomfortable in my feelings. On Twitter at the same time, it's just like, you up? No.
Why am I staring into a mirror right now?
It's great. So, the next morning, Hound's up, 3 hours later. She's the first one up, and, she's got her black coffee. No memories of the night before. But she does have a bag packed, and she's not sure why. She's like, saw a note last night, had to pack a bag, not sure where I'm going. She's like, but Jisoo's taking us somewhere.
Oh, we're gonna have to do this again. Okay. Why don't you sit down, sip your coffee. Yes, we are going somewhere today, but you're not gonna like it.
What wouldn't I like? She says, in a calculated manner.
I'm sure the physical danger is fine for you, but, there's just a easy layer of emotional trauma that it seems like you're gonna have to deal with.
Oh, I don't feel that stuff.
Okay. Well, then we're going to Whippy.
Sounds good. And she says, like, very coldly, too. Like, you can tell this is all a front.
Been in this job too long, honey child.
Yeah, she's just like, all right, let's go. She's not addressing why you're going. She goes, if you need to get to Whitby, I can make sure you get there safe. Anyone else coming, or just you and I?
Oh, we have to take Cassie.
Looks over. Cassie kind of comes out the back. She's wearing like a knitted sweater and like an old Think Geek t-shirt underneath. No, a Ben 10 shirt. Like, that was her
Oh,
favorite
God.
TV show. Yeah, she's got a Ben 10 shirt on, and she's just wearing, like, pajama pants, and she, like, grabs an orange, goes into the bathroom, and then it, like, spins around like an anime, like the screen does. And she comes out, and she looks almost exactly identical, except the pants are now jeans, and her hair is done.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
She's like, eh.
All right. I guess we have one completely normal, not emotionally taxing rescue mission. Casually for an artist that's very beautiful and artistic and brilliant and has been missing. Yeah, totally. We got this. Easy.
We're gonna need a car.
Your car. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's easy enough. I can wire an anonymous car.
Cassie's like, I have some suggestions. And she has, like, she pulls out a smartphone and she has a list. She's like, okay, I want that new Tesla truck. She kind of looks around. the Hound's, like, sipping the coffee and, like, kind of looks at you. Cassie's like,
Specifically for this mission, Cassie?
oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just funning with you. I really like Camrys. They get good mileage.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, we're going with a Subaru. Deal with it.
Like, Hound has, like, a little bit of snark too. It kind of, like, comes out of her mouth. She's like, Subaru. All right, that's a choice.
Yeah, it's
They're
a
great
choice.
cars. She
They're
says.
completely plain, utterly reliable, and just gay enough for this mission.
The theme of the campaign. Just gay enough. And with that, the dynamic trio is going to set off. I'm going to have the hero shot of the three of you come up on screen. Dun, 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 dun. It's like the Lord of the Rings. Except Lord of the Rings meets Charlie's Angels meets The Wire.
Yes.
Here we go. There we go. So up for the audience, we have Cassie, aka Hopkins, Jisoo, and Hound. And they are taking off. This is a great... I'm going to take a screenshot of this and just drop it in chat so you
good.
see these. This is great. This is the best episode. All right, back to the game. All right, so it is a longish trip to Whitby. You actually have an address that would be Cassandra's apartment. However, on the way, right, so I'm dropping the picture of y'all in handouts. So on the way, there is you're stopped for expired tags. There's like a Bobby. There's a police officer. Stern woman. Tags are expired. License. Registration.
I'm trying to figure out who's gonna end up driving this situation.
Oh, that's totally your call.
Yes, I'm looking at my stats to see if I want to do it or not. Yeah, okay, fine. I drove. I totally drove. This is gonna end well. But of course, officer, just 1 second.
Somewhere.
Carefully taking my hands off the wheel and reaching into the glove compartment for my license and registration.
All right. So, I'm curious what your cover identity is. Or just a false name. False person. You're not
Would I
going to be
need to
judged
spend-
on this. You
That's
can
okay.
spin,
Would
but
I-
you don't have to.
Okay. Oh, I did have a list. Where is that list of names? Okay. My cover name is Kristen Tannenbaum.
Kristen Tannenbaum. It's like you're aware that not only were you driving many kilometers faster than the speed limit. And this isn't Germany. You're not on the Autobahn. You're on like empty country roads. There's nothing. And she's like, this is a nation of laws, and you're gonna need to get that fixed. Hound kind of looks over with her sunglasses and tosses an Interpol badge that like bounces off her arm. She glares over the top of her glasses. Oh, I bet she thinks she's real tough. She kind of puts her hands on her hips and says that at Hound. Hound looks at you, looks back at her, and she's like, not as tough as her, and kind of motions her head at you, and then like the cop looks at you. Like, kind of looks back at Hound, and they both laugh. With you, not at you. But it's one of those things like, yeah, I guess. That's why she's driving. And like, cop leaves, doesn't ticket you all. And Cassie's just in the back and is like, what was that all about?
You couldn't even let me have any fun with that one, could you? And I look over at the Hound.
Yeah, and she's just like, too risky. And she kind of turns her smartphone to you and shows, you can see she has intimate details of that officer's life. She pulled up her badge number, went through the computer network. She's like, that one is a dirty cop, bad cop, on different payrolls.
Oh. Damn it.
And a drug
Okay.
dealer.
I thought they were all doing that at this point.
Hound says you might want to start the car. And she pulls out her Glock and shoots the officer's tire. There's a drug dealer.
All right.
Go, 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 go!
Going.
Sunroof, like, Hound's just, like, throwing the victory signs, and Cassie's just like, holy sh... It's the scene cuts. This is great. This is like the Thelma and Louise episode.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, and to the audience, I made her a drug dealer. I was like, nah, screw that. Hound's gonna shoot out her tires and just be like, screw that.
You're done. You're abandoned. Right here. Stuck.
Moided. Alright.
Do we run into anything else along to the court?
No. So you're on your way, and essentially, you're coming up on you're coming up on a nice gated apartment complex. There's and there's kind of like a gate guard, and this is where Colette would live. It's nice. It's upscale. It's high class. Luxury condos in Whitby. Whitby is a beautiful port, seaside town. Ships come and go all the time.
All right. Give me the rundown since you're too hungover and cranky this morning. What do I expect here? What's our options?
Well, she should just be inside. Normally we have someone watching. And she points to an office building across the street. But I mean, she's such low priority, and they spend most of the day drinking. Hound kind of reaches for a flask that she forgot back at the hideout.
Okay. We just walk up.
You're gonna have
that's
to
it?
tell the guard. You're gonna have to give him a name. You're gonna have to say, "We are here to see. We are here to see Tabitha Homewood."
That's the name you gave her?
No, Tabitha is her employer.
Oh, okay. You can tell, like, she's just so high strung.
Very high strung, and then Cassie goes, The bimbo? It says it like that, like loud, to the point where like birds fly off trees in the distance.
Yes.
And then like Hound goes, she has some issues she's working through. So what are some investigative skills you have? You might know who Tabitha is.
I got tabs on Tabitha. Let's see. Investigative skills. I have plenty.
Something to deal with any pop culture, art, local history, government.
I left that to the boys. I have 2 in photography. I've got 1 in geology and
This is even better.
Notice.
You don't know who she is, and then Hound says Google her name.
Okay. All right. Tabitha.
Tabitha. This Discord crashes.
As one does. Am I supposed to be Googling, like, for real?
No, not for real.
Okay,
So
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I realized that too. I was like, you aren't actually going to have... there actually won't be any results for her. So, you pull up Tabitha, and here's... I'm dropping a photo in handouts as well. So, Tabitha Homewood. She is known for breaking up 2 marriages in the royal family. And she's known for being a hellacious millionaire's daughter. Her family owns a lot of property, particularly here in Whitby. There's like 3 or 4 different mansions that they own.
Okay. So like a Harris Pilton.
Yes, a Harris Pilton. And those are tough to swallow. But like she is... Like, we've described people like, oh, she's phenomenally gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Tabitha is more beautiful than any of them. Like, she literally would be a runway model. It's an otherworldly beauty beyond immortal vampiric ballet dancers or Russian or German movie stars like Alrun. Tabitha is, essentially a day-drinking, hell-on-wheels kind of gal who happens to own a very prominent clothing line, and Edom got your partner, Colette, involved with that. However, you probably have a point of vampirology you can spend. Or occult studies.
Yeah. Easy peasy. I'll spend 1 of each.
Just 1 will suffice.
I know.
And
I'm just messing with you, Grant.
Yeah, well, there's more I could give to you. So, Homewood, you follow the genealogy. She is the great-granddaughter of Arthur Homewood, one of the original members that went up against Dracula. He had proposed to Lucy Westenra a couple times, and he was very ambitious. He went on to become a lord. He ended up becoming, a governmental figure, and his fate was never quite certain what actually happened to him. But he was just devastated when Lucy was murdered by Dracula. Presided over the funeral, and actually, since Lucy and her mother were murdered on the same day, if you read the novel and follow it, like they were both killed, he actually bought and took care of their estate, which is known as Hillingham. So Tabitha has a connection to the vampire conspiracy, and that she is a descendant of Arthur Homewood.
Got it. Well, it's funny how the generations pass down certain traits, huh?
I'll say, she says, and she's like looking around since she can't find her flask. She's looking for smokes, even though she quit like 3 years ago, and she's just like, "You got any gum?" And Cassie's kind of like looking around, and she's like, "No."
I don't know. You might find a stick in the glove compartment. I like wait for her to check.
She opens
She's
it.
just shuffling around.
Yeah, she's shuffling and just like you could tell it's kind of like frantic and it's one of those things where she's losing her cool. Then she just shakes, gives one good shake, composes herself, and she's like, "Oh, do you have one?" Thank you.
It's not that you need it or anything, so.
I feel more comfortable. I don't do well with law enforcement. That's what she refers to the gate guard of a gate community as. You can tell she's also probably getting a little hangry as well. Maybe there'll be food in the condo.
There better be. Okay. So I guess we three schmooze it up with Tabitha.
Yeah. And she shouldn't be here. It's just it's under her name. We didn't want to use Colette's because we didn't want people. And Tabitha owns, a million properties. No one can keep track of them all.
Thanks for explaining all that. I'm picking up what you're throwing down, Captain Obvious. I was getting into character. Jeez.
Well, she's like choking on the gun now. And she's just swallows the gum. Thanks. Nervous tick.
All right.
Gate guard. Who are you here to see?
Homewood. Tabitha.
He says that. He's like, all right, but keep the music down tonight. And like, it's one of those things where like if Tabitha's gonna be here, there's probably some party. Then he kind of looks you over, and he looks kind of confused. It's almost like a judging thing. He's like, y'all are Tabitha's friends?
Are we not her type?
He goes, just opens the gate. And he's like, go on through. We're rough spy types.
Campaign. That's it.
We're rough. Yeah, we're rough spy types. Yeah. So the three of you go on up, and so how do you feel as you're going up the steps? She's on the second floor of a 2-story luxury condo complex, room 207. Be back at the end of the hall so she can have the best view. That and Edom can see her if she comes out onto the balcony.
Yeah. Jisoo's cycling between sprinting, skipping steps, and then pausing, and just casually walking and up and down. And can't tell like which energy. But there's a lot of energy. Jisoo wants to get out, and maybe not ready to get all the way up those 2 flights of stairs.
Fortunately for you, Cassie springs up the steps. It's just one of those things. She always runs upstairs. It's exercise. She's kind of waiting at the top. Then Hound's kind of lurching behind. And she says, I checked Colette's schedule. She doesn't have any photo shoots today. Should be home. And everything should be peachy.
What if we, stage this as a barge in and make her feel like it's urgent?
Yeah, we can do that.
Guns blazing.
Hound pulls out her Glock, which has no ammo in it, and is like, here. Kicks the door open, and she's like, hit the ground, you bitch! And like points the gun at whoever's in there. No one is in there. It's completely empty. There's no furniture. There's no paintings on the wall. There are no utilities. The whole place is empty.
Yep. That's about... Don't know why I thought this... Okay. Alright, and you just kind of see Jisoo drop to her knees and just stare at the walls.
Hound looks shocked. And then she goes, no, we can fix this. And she pulls out her phone, and you see a little red dot. And it's on a different part of town. She's like, let's go pay Tabitha a visit. Figure out where her friend is.
It's empty. It's like you're lying to me and no one was here. Stop lying to me. I don't want to do
Jisoo,
this.
She tosses you her smartphone. And you can tell she's like immediately nervous. She's like, now, you are going to hit the CCTV app. If you open photos, you will not swipe left. You will not swipe right. You will open the CCTV app. And she points to, you can see that there is it kind of like a drop ceiling tile. You're smart enough, you can see that there's a little camera in there. And it's like, you can check this room on various dates.
Okay. I hand her back the phone without checking.
She clicks to check. She looks confused. She's like, hasn't recorded it. Cat. It's Dracula! They stopped recording this room 2 weeks ago.
Of course they did.
They turned off the camera. So she goes back to 2 weeks. There's like movers. Colette's there. They're moving her on out. Tabitha's there too. They're moving her someplace else. Guess they didn't tell me. I was on a boat, she says.
Yeah, of course.
Hopkins is like, yeah, I know, she says, remembering what she was put through. Hound's feeling kind of bad.
Good. Let her sit in that uncomfort. Alright, well, I guess we find the relocation. Shouldn't be too hard, right?
Hound's having a hard time figuring out what's going on. She's like, seems like folks were making decisions behind my back. Now, Hound says she wasn't responsible for locating and relocating persons of interest. That was Osprey's job. I'm gonna give you a picture of Osprey just because he is so adorable. Yeah.
So adorbs.
Yes, and so it's just like, little dapper guy, and so Osprey was meant to be the one to move and relocate people, and they're not since. Well, they must have picked up on the Proserpina exploded because they've cut off a lot of my access. Can't see new files; I can only see old ones.
Jisoo's like 2 shakes away from strangling the Hound again. Just like, you act surprised that this is happening to you, to the files, that these decisions are being made without you knowing.
Hound's not lying, so if you have bullshit detector, it's like there's a lot that moves on behind her, and she's just kind of like, I think our best bet is to go to Tabitha and have her tell us what's going on with Colette. Or we can go to Osprey, get in contact with that guy, and have him tell us what's going on with Colette.
As cute and adorable as Osprey is, I think the less Edom, the better. In Jisoo's mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Jisoo just doesn't say a thing, turns around. I'm going to the car.
And Hound goes, if you go to Tabitha, we can lie. If we go to Osprey, he's going to know who we are.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Let's go to Tabitha.
Mm-hmm. Don't know who pissed in your Cheerios today. Oh, it was me, she says. And then, Cassie's like, y'all need to work your shit out. I was like,
it's really hard to go to therapy when you have people, you have heat, you have people you care about who've forgotten about you, who you thought were dead, and then you've got heat all over you, so you can't just go live a normal life like a normal citizen or even a normal spy anymore because you've been dragged into vampire shit. You think I don't want to work my shit out? I go on this diatribe and I feel just bad for reaching out to
No, and like Hound makes it worse too, and she's like, yeah, and you leaked the whole dossier to them. To Hopkins, who's like, oh fuck, I did. It's just kind of like, it's like Cassie's starting to tear up, and then Hound's like, kind of looks back at you, looks at Cassie, he's like, no, none of that. We're gonna find Colette, and the four of us will cry together at the appropriate moment. No tears now, save them. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this shit. She's very frustrated. She's like, but we're buying smokes. Stop to the convenience store. We have a bunch of saucy snacks. We have whatever drinks we want. We all have smokes. Even if we don't smoke, it's just they're hanging out of our mouth, and we're all like, whatever.
Slim Jims.
Slim Jims. It's road trip food. Yeah. Tabitha is, do you have high society?
Hound
might.
For the sake, I have some XP, so I'm going to distribute one in high society, because I was going to take it, and a different character had it, so now I do.
Hound and famous pop star, or not Hound. Hound can't get a famous pop star boyfriend.
Right.
And she's not interested in those guys anyways. So Tabitha Homewood is currently dating Justin Himbo Lake, and yeah, he's a pop star. He's new, and essentially, they're throwing a big party. They're doing a big charity event. They're raising money to restore some historical sites in the area that are culturally significant to Whitby. Whitby has very little culture. There's an abbey and things like that, and but they want the estates here, which are worth millions of dollars. The land. They're hoping that they can do it. Now, your bullshit detector in this situation would tell you they're probably just making a land grab that's charity work, but they just want to buy up a bunch of real estate. Probably not even fix those lands. With that said, we dress to the nines. Unless we want to... How do we want to go? Do we want to dress like pseudo-celebrities, or do we want to go as law enforcement, or do we want to go as journalists?
Nah, fuck cops. Time to get fancy.
Oh, yeah. So, Hound gets a cream-colored, like, strapless dress, and, yeah, and, a lot of back revealed, and, obviously, clock on the garter.
Yes.
Heels for days. How do you look?
Me? Oh, I'll drop something in handouts, but
nice.
We're gonna go with, let's just say, more of a Lucy Liu look of a pantsuit option. Probably the tuxedo button-up with the no undershirt situation going on. And we'll stick with a fancy. Instead of black, we're gonna do the capri pantsuit with a maroon aesthetic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Killing it. And then Cassie, who has never worn a dress, not even when she was 3 years old, for the first time wears, like, she wears, I'm dropping that in the handout, she's wearing, like, this adorable, like, almost like homecoming style, like, fairy princess dress, and she's just like, haha, this is kind of fun. It's great. And you all get your makeup done professionally. And it costs over $10,000, but it's Edom money at this point.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and with that, we show up at the party. There's a ton of paparazzi outside. Everyone just assumes. They're like, oh, those are... It'd be great if you had, like, a cover identity where, like, you had a one-hit wonder in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s.
We were
teenage pop stars.
Yeah, we were, like, teenage pop stars in Korea. We were K-pop before K-pop existed.
Yes. Oh, great. And, we get in, and we're very, very exciting. Oh, that outfit. Goodness gracious. And essentially, um, we're in the party. There's a lot of well-to-do people. There's music's great. They're on to maybe the third phase of the party. Parties typically go in 4 phases. This is when a lot of people are leaving, and it's after the main event. However, we're there, and you see Tabitha. She's been drinking, and she's got Justin Himbo Lake. Like, he's not on her arm or anything. He's just kind of like doing that man spread on a couch, and he's just kind of like, oh, this charity stuff's a lot of work. It's harder than my music. What do you do?
I grab a champagne glass from one of the waiters walking around. I walk over to Tabitha with the Hound arm in arm.
Oh, nice. Here's Hound's dress too, so she's with you. So she's got, her dress on. You've got the suit, arm in arm. We go up. Power couple. Tabitha's like, oh, hi, are you here to make donations?
Oh, we've done enough of that. We already did that. Sure, it's going to a great cause. And, how's your night going, Tabitha?
Great, we've raised, 30 million, and Justin Hembo, like mumbles, he's like, 30 million for some old houses. And, yeah, like 30 million. And, Hound's like, you have something in your teeth. She's like, my teeth? I have something in my teeth? And Hound's like, yeah, here, let me show you. You're not getting it. And you, see Hound, take her by the back and, starts rushing her away from Justin, rushes her into the bathroom. You hear a scream! And, and then it's quickly, muffled, ah! Pip.
These events are, really a drag, aren't they? A lot of work, huh?
Is that to Justin?
Yeah. She's probably got it. I'll distract Justin.
He kind of looks at you, and he, looks over at the bathroom that's over there, and he's like, we're in an open relationship, right?
Of course you are. I mean...
Cassie, takes your hand and is like, so are we!
Such a cute little fairy.
Yeah.
We're here for charity. We're here for information. We're not here for a good time. Not this time.
You feel your phone vibrate, your burner phone that you picked up at the convenience store.
Yeah, okay. Well, have fun raising more money. Deuces. Fucking hate celebrities. Jesus, just
Yeah, and he's just, he takes that and, he kind of, smiles, then you notice he kind of, goes to a frown, and, you can tell, Cassie's containing excitement, and, as soon as you turn around, she whispers to you, she goes, you're probably the first person tonight that did not ask for his autograph, and he feels so hurt right now, he's a has-been. Here, watch this, and she turns around, and she's like, your second album was much worse than your first, and then, he's like, his eyes bug out, and she turns around, she's like,
Okay. Alright, well, now that you've got your giggles, I'm walking and talking. Is it a text, or it was someone
It's
buzzing?
a text, and it's
Okay.
and it's Hound, and she's like, bathroom now.
Yeah. Cool. And we're, barging in.
She has knife to Tabitha's throat. Tabitha is, can't make a noise, but you can just see tears, and Hound's like, Hillingham. They moved her to Hillingham from the condo. She's there.
You didn't tell me this is how it was gonna go down.
I felt we needed to get to the chase.
I mean, you told me healing him from the get-go. So you're just terrorizing celebrities now for the fun of it?
No, to be fair, I kind of retconned. I missed up. I
Oh,
should
okay,
have
okay, okay.
really prepared. Yeah, it's one of those things. She's like, yeah, healing him from the get go, and while we're at it, you know these celebrities. You know she's on Edom's payroll, right? And that's what Hound says, and then Tab's like, yeah. I'm loyal Edom. I'm loyal Edom.
All right, ease up. Okay, do we have an address or not?
Yeah, it's pretty well known. It's not far from here. And Hound says, do we want to let her go or bring her with us? It's your call.
I mean, I'll look at Tabitha. Have you been hanging out with her?
No, she's boring. Like, she's pretty good at taking pictures and stuff. But I don't see why she doesn't just use auto settings. It's faster.
No, we're absolutely leaving her here.
Cassie's
Get this
like...
tasteless monkey out of my face.
Cassie's just like, don't you even look at the EXIF data and like make some photography joke? And it's like, we're a bunch of like photog snobs, and like, Hound wipes up her face and like quickly fixes her makeup and her hair, and then while she's at it, like slides one of her like $50,000 rings off her finger and like pockets it. You see it, and then she just kind of looks at you. She's like, look.
Edom does what Edom does, doesn't they?
And then, yeah. Edom does what Edom does. And then, yeah, we're safe. So, killing him. I'll bring that up on screen. So, and I will drop it in the chat. So, Hillingham, you know, if you spend a point in vampirology, that it belonged to Lucy Westenra, and it was her family's estate. It is the location that her and her mother were murdered by Dracula. Arthur Holmwood felt so bad that he bought the estate and had taken care of it, just as you knew prior. Okay, there we go. And then let me do this. And no one has taken great care of it, but it is an extremely valuable bit of real estate property. And they have done a good job of keeping it off the market, so to speak. In fact, Edom probably is worried that Tabitha at some point will get control over it and sell it. With that said, we're free to go there.
Well, seems like a lovely piece of real estate. At this point, Jisoo feels kind of hemmed and hawed and ready to go. So if we get to Hillingham and she sees Colette preface, she's literally just going to yoink her and leave.
It's fair. And that is probably what everyone in this situation wants. Like, Cassie's like, haha, got 2 bottles of champagne. She just happened to steal on the way out. And I'm not going to say Hound dips a Slim Jim in it. And savage. No, so we approach a very derelict house. The gardens are completely overgrown. The windows and doors are boarded up. They haven't taken this good place of this at all. It's covered in graffiti. This is not a nice location. Your instant thought is, why would she be sent here? Why would Colette be sent here? This isn't clean.
This is a literal opposite of where she was promised and apparently kept for 2 years. So what the fuck happened in the past 2 weeks to send her to this shitty ass, off the grid, unkempt place? Hmm.
Do you have any points in notice?
I do. I have one.
While you notice all the windows are boarded up, but not the attic. That window is broken.
Great.
You also notice there are a series of footprints near the front of the door that it looks like, Princess Bride style. There was a mighty duel. There was some sort of altercation that happened towards the front of the house.
Is she even here? Shit's gone down here. It's not a secure building. The attic's busted open. The hell is going on?
Hound's looking around. She feels very, very disturbed by this. She takes a look at the ground and looks very close. She turns on a light. She explains, there's blood on the soil.
Yep. That's what happens when people scuffle. So, was it a fist fight? Bullet wound? They fell out of the attic?
Cassie's looking, lets out, like, a shriek. It's more like a gasp, where it's like...
Yeah. Man,
there is a mound of wild roses that is just sitting there on the earth. Just wild roses have grown. And if you step back, they're in the shape of a human form. And
Cassie? Hound? Anyone?
You have vampirology?
Yes, I would have. I technically, yeah, I do. I still have one more.
You would know that even if you run out of points, just having the ability you could spend, you just wouldn't be able to probe any deeper. Mm-hmm. Your knowledge here is, that the wild roses would repel Dracula and some other vampires too. They are a vampiric repellent. And the growing of these roses in this formation would be it's an uncommon act. It would be viewed as supernatural, mutant, not natural. It almost this would be like if your friends at the Vatican had abilities, they would have done something like this to repel.
Super juiced, like holy water, but better. Okay. Well, this makes me want to assume the worst. And I kick down the door.
Kick down the door. All right. It's pretty empty inside. You feel a presence you haven't felt in a while. The last time you felt it was outside Bistria. You feel very similar. You also felt a similar feeling within the Scholomance, and while performing a ritual with the mystic. Yes, so...
I don't have Hantal's Misty Step, guys.
No, you do not. And this is a situation where there's... The downstairs looks relatively untouched. There are the stairs that go up and into the attic where the window was smashed. And there's also a door in the back of the house that looked like it's open and it's leading to a cemetery yonder. But the back door is open.
I look to the Hound and Cassie, and I'm like, "Are we here to fight? Are we ready to fight? Do you feel anything?"
Hound says, do we want to stick together or do we want to split up? Because she's like, we could check different locations of the house or we could stay together the whole time. It's your call. Because she's ready to fight, but she's worried about something getting the drop on you all.
Sure. The back door's open to the cemetery. The attic's busted open. Do we just go around back? I don't...
You see a silhouette backlit by the light of the moon walking from the cemetery, and it's coming from the cemetery up towards the house.
Okay,
a voice
I close the front door.
Okay, you close the front door.
Yeah.
Voice calls out. Goes, You all right in there? Can I come in? I don't want to interrupt anything.
I look at the Hound with an inquisitive eyebrow. You answer.
You can come in, but keep your hands up, she says. And you know, she draws her gun. Y'all are still dressed to the nines. This is great.
I know.
And a handsome man comes in from the back. He's got some nice light gray eyes. He's wearing, a brown suit, and he kind of looks at you all, and then his eyes flash red, and you hear a voice that's not his speaks through him. He's like, "Those of the lines of Homewood were born fools will die fools, their kin will be fools, and they will all seek what I have and fall before me."
Yeah. Yeah, sounds about right.
Even as I could not have taken her, I will make sure that I take the three of you. And with that, the vampiric form of Arthur Homewood, with Dracula speaking through him, is going to launch into an attack against you. You, Cassie, and Hound.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Let's fucking go.
Alright, let's make this happen.
Everyone is Homewood fools, you himbos, bimbos. Okay.
So, what do you want to do? You'll get to go first.
You know what? I think without Antal here and our best boy, I think it's time to do some badass fighting, is it not?
That's what I've been waiting for, this campaign. So.
Pew pew pew! I'm gonna take out I imagine the Hound would have handed us our own firearms of sorts. Probably had a...
She probably wouldn't have, but if you need one, if you have any preparedness, you could use that.
Yeah.
If you don't have any preparedness, she might.
No, I can spend a point of preparedness to say I had one.
Okay.
Super sleek. And then I have a shooting 4, so I would like to pew pew the vampire first in the forehead, just to see what happens.
Alright, so it's he's going to spend 3 points, and he has a hit threshold of 5, so you need an 8.
Cool. Statistically speaking...
Well, and you notice what happened. Yeah. Well, no, go ahead, hit threshold 5. So he's not using any spend. It's just a hit threshold of 5 to hit him. That's fine.
I'll spend 2 out of shooting and I'll roll. Let's see what happens. Yep. Sounds about right. Not 1. So 3 total.
The bullet goes and hits the window. It is the vampire's turn. He activates his vampiric speed. The vampiric speed gives him extra attacks. It makes him harder to hit, and his hit threshold goes from 5 to 7 now. And he moves much faster. It's one of those, anime teleports behind you moments.
Great.
With that said, as the speed goes up, he turns his eyes on Cassie and is like, And then he looks at Hound, then he looks at you, and then he's like, let's take the troublesome one first. And he lunges in at Cassie and goes for a bite.
We're not even friends, Homewood.
And he comes right in. We are not friends of Homewood. Not at all. And this is largely Tabitha's fault. So he moves in and bites Cassie on the neck. She lets out a screech, and she is now bleeding. Hound takes 2 shots to his head. She's going to spend 4 points on the first shot.
Oh my god. Come on, Hound.
Yep.
Do your
Hits.
thing.
Hits twice. And that's a special Hound thing, and so we get to roll a d6 plus 2 twice. So 3 and 3. That's horrible. So let's double check how that's doing to his health. Vampires are really hard to kill. All right, so he's still up, but he's not down. So it's going to be your turn now.
Okay. So I see the situation. I'm like, cool, that's not gonna fly here. I shout to the Hound. You promised to keep us alive, so get your act together. And I'm going to spend another point of preparedness and use a point of explosive devices.
Alright, so you're going to have to roll a d6. What kind of explosive do you want? Because depending on the lethality of the explosion...
I actually want one that will shred what I assume used to be very nice hardwood floors that we're fighting on.
Alright. Yeah, so you've got like a explosive... do you want it to set the floor on fire or just rip up the floors?
With my vampirology, would I know? Or have an inkling?
You know it... Okay, so with him... you would require holy objects and things like that, or the wild roses. He can be... That's funny. Can I come in? He can't come in the room unless he's invited. Yeah. Gotcha.
You're wooed by the cutie.
To kill him, yeah, you'll have to behead him or you'll need to behead the guy to actually kill him. But or get him in sunlight or something like that. But it's nighttime.
Right.
So fire won't kill him. But it's one of those things.
Okay, I'm not going for a super pyro explosive device. More just shatter the earth, shatter the floors, get some splinters going, and hopefully slow him down so we can get out the front door.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a d6 and add your preparedness to it. It's a difficulty 3 to have the explosive device.
Okay, nat 6 plus 1.
You got it. So
Yep.
go ahead and make a explosive devices check or the appropriate skill.
Yep, 6 total.
It's going to do a lot of damage to him. In fact, it does. And he is knocked back 20 feet. You see, he flips and he lands in kind of a crouched position. And he gets ready to go to lunge towards you. this time he's going to go after Hound. Cassie is bleeding very badly. And he approaches Hound, stops about 2 feet away, and like, because she's got the crucifix, which shines, and he is blocked by the crucifix, which is the logic of that. And Hound takes another shot at his head. She has 2 points remaining. She needs a 7 to hit him. She got it. So
Nice.
let's see how this goes. Yes! That is like maximum damage. Big old hole in his head. So he is down on the ground at the moment. And she's like, do we have like a saw to get this guy's head off?
The wild rose is outside though. That can tie him down at least until he can find a sharp enough object.
She takes her heel, snaps it off, and stakes it into his heart. Her heel's broken, so she's like 1 foot, like hobbling out, and so he's staked at the moment.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
And
I'm gonna go over to Cassie and make sure she doesn't bleed out.
yeah, she's gonna need some first aid or some medic. You know, she's kind of like woozy too. She's like, I shouldn't have drank so much champagne. She kind of says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will gladly take, if I need to spend a point of medic and administer some very bare minimal stuff, tear the tool and all the dress bits off of the base of her skirt, try and close up the wound, cauter it, figure it out.
Yeah, you treat the wound. She's not going to bleed out, you know. And she's safe. She's stabilized. She does like feel very like it's almost as if she's been drugged, and she's like, you know, but she also, you know, she's like, I feel better than I usually do. It's just this high society party life is not for me.
No, it isn't. Of course not.
And Hound says, what do we do next? Do we search around here? Do we keep looking for Colette? Do we go ask Tabitha what's going on?
We can't show up back to Tabitha like this. This isn't his place, right? Like, we just fucking fell for the oldest book of the trick, and we let him come in.
This is his place. He owns it. Or did. Talita bought it.
Okay, but he couldn't come in. He asked. You gave him permission to come in.
She, looks at him for a second, and, you know, he has, you know, he's staked in the chest, and, you know, she kind of like, she's feeling through his pockets and his clothes, and she's like, he has some things on him, so, but very few things out apart from his clothes. He does have a silver locket on him. And she kind of cracks it open, and Hound looks just confused. I'm gonna drop a picture in. Well, it helps if I save the picture I wanted to save, Grant Ellis. There is a picture in. Oh, I put it in my Google Doc, but I didn't put it here. So there's a picture, and it's a picture of what looks like two men, side by side. They look very similar. One is a young man, and one is an old man, and you can barely see their shoulders at all. The chin of the young man looks, muddied. This is inside the locket. You pop it open, and there's a photo. And let me drop this into Discord, and I will also bring it up to our
Them eyebrows, them stashes.
Yes, and you see it, and as you look at it, it feels kind of like it's sticking out, like there's probably something behind it. I'm going to bring this up for chat as well. Let me know if you want to check behind it.
Yeah, I'll peel a corner back.
You peel a corner back, and there is 2 photos behind it, side by side, much like this one. And these photos that are side by side, I will drop a picture of both of those in chat. You see the photograph of a young and beautiful woman, as well as the photograph of the man who lies dead before you. And their photos are side by side. And their names or the photos are labeled. One is labeled L. Westenra, and the man's is labeled A. Homewood.
Those are some faces.
Those definitely are some faces.
I look at the hound. I'm like, have you ever seen this?
That's Lucy, she says.
What? Yes. I'm talking about the man you just staked.
In the old files, in the old photographs, he had to have been Arthur Homewood. She says she has to think through her history. He was one of the original founders of Edom. Went on to British Parliament, things like that. But why? Why did he end up a vampire? I never heard of that. Cassie's like, he ended up a vampire because he probably got bit by a vampire. Am I going to become a vampire? Oh, I don't want to do that.
I think there has to be some sort of intention behind the bite, right?
I think he intended to bite me.
We'll keep an eye out on you, Cassie. Not right now.
Thanks.
Sit still.
Yeah. Stop picking at it.
Yeah. Okay, so the hound is more interested in looking at Lucy, like OG Lucy.
Well, she recognizes her because that's Dee. That's the head of Edom. You know, she's like, Lucy Westenra is the head of Edom. Like, she met her once or twice, and she knows. And this would be her house. You know, the Hillingham was Lucy's house that she was killed in by Dracula. You know, because you spent the points of vampirology.
Yeah.
Why would they bring Colette to Hillingham?
More vampires.
Well, she's not here.
Are you trying to tell me Edom is run by a vampire?
Edom's... If that's what Lucy is.
Pause a second. Did we know, or I remember out of character knowledge. I don't remember who knew, or were we just talking about it?
We had talked about it. We figured it out of character, more or less. So we know who Lucy is because you have the copy of the book and you know who she is. And you know that there's a lot of theories about her. She died very young. She died at the age of 19. Dracula killed her. But she ended up being turned into a vampire and went on to become head of Edom, where she is attempting to control Dracula and take charge. And they're trying to use his DNA to cure cancer.
Great. Okay, well, yeah, I look at the hound and I'm like, you have been manipulated by more vampires than you thought. This is obvious. So why would they bring the love of my life here if she's not here now? The fuck is happening?
Hound's starting to tear up, and she's starting to feel memories of when she lost her family. And then she starts going up the stairs.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared. Okay.
No.
Yep. All right. Um, I kneel down and I look at Cassie one more time and make sure she's propped up,
She is.
just sitting up and doing okay.
And Cassie's like, that's a really nice suit, Jisoo.
It is. It is. It's a shame it got a little messed up. We'll fix it. Hang tight, okay? We'll be right back.
She nods.
You'll see Jisoo hesitate, like pick up her foot, leave it midair, and then step down resoundingly and start running up the stairs.
Up the stairs. There is what looks like a trail of blood that is running across the floor of the hallway. Goes into a large attic. In the attic is a massive version of that portrait of Dracula. You found a small cameo. Cameo would be a photo of a painting. And
This is the painting.
This is the painting.
Okay.
Which is very important. You know, in your vampirology, if you can't take a photo of Dracula, someone did paint him at some point. This is
Right.
the closest thing to his likeness. And Hound sees the crashed window, looks outside. Directly beneath the crashed window is the form of a human with the wild roses growing. What did he say when he came in? He said he couldn't take her, so he was going to take us.
I thought that meant Tabitha.
She thinks. I think we need to ask Tabitha.
If I have to go back to her to find out she was lying, I don't.
That bitch was lying, she says.
How'd I don't. I can't promise anything. I don't know what I'll do. Do you know the wild roses?
Hound takes a step back, and she just looks at you, and you can see she's weeping, and she just says, "I'm so sorry."
Fuck you. You don't get to say that right now. I refuse. Nope. No. Don't apologize. Tabitha. We gotta go back to Tabitha and ask.
So, the question is, are we going to get to Tabitha before she flees the country?
We did let the Hound do a shakedown on her, so...
Yes, and she sent us to Hillingham. And if you want to do some digital intrusion and things like that, you'd probably be able to get access to Osprey's files through Hound's phone if you wanted to. And it would simply verify that Colette was brought here.
I think when Jisoo utters we have to get to Tabitha in such a broken voice, I think she turns around away from the attic window and stops and says to the Hound, "It won't matter, will it? I can't keep chasing. Tabitha will be gone. Tabitha sent us here.
Hound says, I know a place we can go.
Somewhere only we know.
No, she looks at the portrait and says, kill that motherfucker. And then, like, shoots it 3 times with her gun. Cut to black. So!
Yeah!
Intense story.
I love it. We learned a lot. I'm super grateful. Jisoo.
Are you okay? Because that's rough stuff and that's tough stuff because
yeah, we hit a lot of heavy stuff, but I think it's necessary. Like, this is what we signed up for, and this is good storytelling. We're ramping it up. This is all well within my realm of comfort. I'm okay. Jess, I'm good.
The question was, what would be the impetus to go and full on be willing to risk? Like, you have the book. Look at Dracula's stat block. This vampire we fought here has like 10 aberrants. Dracula has 50. And it's like, he is nearly invincible. And so it's one of those things, it's like, what would lead us to go on that suicide mission?
Yeah. I think post that session, Jisoo's now, in order to take down Edom, she needs to make sure it's infiltrated. So I don't know if taking out Dracula seems practical to Jisoo. I think it'd be more of like, get a hold of Lucy.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
All right.
How are you though? You had to juggle 2 characters and this story. You took us on a ride.
And you know, it was a lot of fun, and the whole prep was done in a half hour before we played, which is that's kind of the cool thing, and it really is a credit though to the game materials, because it's like, well, where are we going? We're going to Hillingham. Well, who owns it right now? There's like 3 or 4 different people. Oh, well, who's Tabitha? She's a party girl? And it's like, we get to play with
little girl.
Then I was like, well, what's the lore here? It's like, well, this place is really sad because it's a place where Lucy was killed. Not only that, they said if Arthur's been turned into a vampire or something like that, he'd probably be hanging out here trying to figure out where his life went wrong. So I thought, we can have... Arthur thought he was going to be made into a vampire and achieve Dracula status. No, he's a puppet. The same as... there's other plot lines with Tabitha, since she won't be pursued. I think it's safe to say that... So Tabitha was diagnosed with a life-threatening blood condition. And she was like, she's hoping that Edom will be able to make vampires and control them, but she's not getting. Dracula... by design, goes after things important to each player character.
Oh, yeah.
He burned down T's nightclub, turned Antal's Solus. Daquan, in Daquan's solo story, Daquan lost every partner, got converted to Edom, had to be a bad guy secretly the entire thing. Like, he was stealing Seaward Serum and giving it back to Edom and all sorts of stuff. And Pro shouldered that every episode for all those weeks. And but that's what they wanted for the campaign. They wanted to play that where there's leverage over the character. And then for this, it's the most important thing. It's the partner. And it's like, what would cause Tabitha to turn? It's like, she needs to become a vampire. The way she can do that. And Dracula's like, well, I can turn you into a vampire. But Homewoods are stupid, just like Arthur was stupid. You're stupid. This was all about getting Colette, who fought me off and would rather die and then be protected by wild roses. I could not have her. Send them here. I will get them. No, you killed Arthur, and now things are coming to a head.
Ooh, damn.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you're totally right. The prep is great for this. Like, it's just it that books and the resources do so well to just make it a very quick and efficient thing to find the most compelling points and mash them together. So I love it.
I'm at the point where I'd want to run the campaign again just to see
Again,
where it goes.
where's the conspirament now?
The conspirament. Yeah, all right. Well, my friends, this has been the Dracula Dossier. Jess, I mean, while this is broadcasting, you're going to be doing some Gen Con stuff, but where can we find you online?
Yes, it's me. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter. It's probably the safest bet to go find where I'm at, where when I'm at doing things. I'm trying. I'll be busy. I will be busy this week, probably off screen, making other people and other voices heard, which I'm super excited for. But I hope everyone has a really good Gen Con. Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity where we can turn a sucky situation into a good. So go make sure visit Gen Con online, buy all those free tickets, go look at all the sessions. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on, live, Zoom, everything. So thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for playing, and y'all, I'm Grant Ellis. I'm the director of the Dracula Dossier campaign. This campaign is sponsored by Pelgrane Press. If you look below the video on YouTube or in chat on Twitter, you'll see links where you can click to support our show. There's also a voucher where you can get 20% off all Nice Black Agents products. And as always, we will, our outro is the intro. See you all next week for episode 13, Unlucky 13, or Lucky 13, on Nice Black Agents, the Dracula Dossier. Au revoir. I'm muted. Hey everyone, it's me. I'm live now, and I look so tired. Hey everybody. Well, hey, appreciate it. Appreciate all the compliments. Yeah, so I'm running main stage in Gen Con TV. So I run 3 channels: Gen Con TV, main stage, and studio. Hey everybody, be safe out there. So we recorded Jess and I this episode earlier in the week, making sure that we could be prepped for today. And make sure that there was an episode on a content, and it was a really fun solo session. And it's one of those things, we don't really know exactly where it's going to go. If you watch the prep, I kind of show how I set up the thriller skeleton, where there's going to be a hook, and then there's going to be a curtain. We're going to have something to do. The something to do is save Colette. The curtain is Colette's not there where we're expecting, and it's a story beat. A beat means an event, decision, or discovery that changes the direction that we proceed, or our strategy towards finishing the plot. So no Colette means we have to go find Tabitha. Tabitha sends us to Hillingham. Then we have to fight a vampire. Unfortunately for Colette, she died. But her soul and her body and is safe from Dracula. So, it gives Jisoo that reason to pursue and go after Dracula and hopefully kill him. Next week we will be back for the penultimate episode. So we only have 2 episodes remaining. They want to confront Lucy Westenra. Lucy was revealed, no spoilers, to be a central figure in the campaign on the asset opposition force Edom side. And then after that, they want to go to Castle Dracula and kill Dracula. So we will exit with the intro as our outro, then send a raid over to a friend's channel. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, and if you came here through Pelgrane, I've been dropping links. I really want to do the Yellow King campaign, and what we'll probably do is we'll probably do that. I'd like to use the same players if possible, if they're available and we can make it work. We're looking at upgrading our broadcast software, and I'd like to bring on a new player as well for the group. The player I would like to bring on, assuming they are available, we've talked about it a little bit, is Little Cup of Joe. But we'd be doing the Yellow King, and we would start with Bella Puck and possibly it would be great if we could play through all 4 scenarios and play through the entire campaign. It uses Quickshot Gumshoe, which is a wonderful system. So, catch all on the flip side. It'd be nice to get back up to 4 players. Although I'm really happy with 3. And I'm really happy with these players. You know, Jess, Pro, and Sharung are just absolute delights. Support them. And with that, for those of you that haven't seen the intro video, I used to work in motion pictures and television, so it's going to be a video that I put together specifically for this show. And the music is by James Simple, who does a lot of the soundtracks for Pelgrane. And hope you like it. See you next week.